Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and it is that fucking time again. It is time for a DVD/Blu-ray update, and of course, this will be in two parts. I was contemplating putting the whole thing together because I didn't think I really had that much because I've been waiting for so much stuff to come in the mail, and nothing is arriving. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm doing this update anyways." You guys know exactly what I'm talking about when you're waiting for things to come in, and it just doesn't arrive. For example, I had an order through a website, and they shipped my package in 3 different packages. I got one of them. I'm still waiting on the other 2, and it has quite a bit of films in it, so that's fucking annoying. And among other things, I'm waiting for a bunch of things and just not arriving. So, anyways, yeah, we'll get into this update here. Start obviously with some DVDs. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but yeah. Start off with a film that I picked up again. I double dipped on this one because I wanted to see this version of it, and that is Headspace. I have the director's cut of the film. I wasn't too sure what the difference is between these films. This one runs longer, but the director's cut is shorter. Yeah, this film right here stars Olivia Hussey, of course, from Black Christmas, William Atherton, Sean Young, Mark Margolius, Dee Wallace is in it, and Udo Kier. This is a really fucking trippy, like, psychological type horror film from the director that did The Offspring, the prequel to The Woman. This is a really fucking good movie, but I was just curious. It was like really cheap. It was only like $2 for it, so I decided to grab this. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to compare it to the director's cut. But if you've never seen this film, definitely give this a shot. This is a really good movie. Moving along. Next up, I grabbed this one just because I always grab the worst fucking movies ever. And this one, just the name alone, I have to grab everything with Massacre in the title. And that's Jolly Roger Massacre at Cutter's Cove. Yeah, I watched this one. This was horrible. This was terrible. I do like the concept of like a fucking killer pirate. But the way he's resurrected in this film is just terribly executed. It has horrible, horrible dialogue. The effects are pretty bad too, but it's just, come on, man. I don't mind bad movies, even bad shot films, whatever. As long as the dialogue is, like, you know, actually tolerable. This is just fucking torture to listen to. It's so bad. But, you know, it does have, like, a killer pirate. Like, I mean, how many killer pirate films are out there? Probably not a ton of them, but I don't know. It was so bad. The way he was resurrected was just fucking terrible. It's terrible. Next up, this is a film that I've actually wanted to check out for so long, and I just never got around to checking it out. I finally picked it up for a couple bucks, and that's Mr. Jingles, killer clown film. Very, very low micro, no budget film about a clown that's basically come back for vengeance against the people that put him away because apparently he was actually wrongfully accused of some crimes and was sent away and stuff. So now he's back, of course, seeking revenge on the people from the street that, you know, put him away and stuff. So, of course, he was an innocent man, but then he turns into this massive serial killer. It's okay. It's okay. It's really, really low budget. It's pretty much what you're gonna get with a no budget film, but it was okay. It was tolerable. Next up from Scream Factory is their first DVD release of just a solo film. You know, they have their 4-packs and stuff, but this is their first like DVD only release, and that is House in the Alley. Now, I did a review for this a couple weeks back on my channel. If you want to know more about my thoughts on it, you know, definitely check that review out. But I thought there was, you know, just to keep it short, I thought there was a lot of missed opportunities in this. But I will say one good thing. The lead here in the film, I thought that she did a really fantastic job in the lead. So, but yeah, check out House in the Alley. It's okay at best. Next up here is Volume 3 of the Scream Theater line that was put out by VCI. This one's containing Don't Open the Door and Don't Look in the Basement. I actually ordered like all the there's 7 volumes. This is the only one that I've received so far. Hence me going back to all the films I haven't received in the mail. So I received Volume 3, and I watched Don't Open the Door. I'd never seen that movie before. It was okay. It's that, you know, that early 70s type killer in the house film, you know. But, you know, it was decent for what it was. Very, very low budget type film. I heard that Don't Look in the Basement, the transfer on that's actually probably the best it's ever looked for a public domain type film. I think it's actually widescreen. I think they lie on the back and say it's not, but I think it's actually a widescreen print, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm waiting for the other ones to come in the mail because there's a few cool films on them. So, but this is a pretty cool set. The thing that really caught me by surprise about these releases is that these are flipper discs. I hadn't fucking seen a flipper disc in a long time, and these are, you know, relatively newer releases, I believe. So, yeah, very interesting. Okay, next up is a film from Greece, released on the Danger After Dark label, and it's called Evil. This is, you know, what I thought was going to be basically your kind of run-of-the-mill type zombie film. This was actually pretty good. This was not bad. I didn't mind the characters in the film. It had some really fun times, some pretty decent comedy in it and stuff. It's not like a you know, over-the-top zom-com type deal. It's a zombie film with comedy in it. But I had a lot of fun with this. I thought it was actually pretty enjoyable. Don't let the cover fool you. It's not an animated film or whatever. I think that's a pretty interesting choice of cover. I've seen this movie around quite a few times and always passed on it. Finally picked it up for, like I said, really dirt cheap, like most of these releases in here, and was pleasantly surprised with it. I actually really enjoyed this flick, so, you know, check it out. Next up is a movie I'd never seen and never owned and always wanted to check out because I'd always heard probably 99% bad things about this, and I think it's because people compare this to the first 2 Anthology films. And, yeah, okay, and it's Creepshow 3. I actually didn't hate this as much as I thought I was going to. The one good thing I did like about this film is that it had 5 stories. It had a lot of, you know, stories to it, and they all kind of intertwined and came together as one. Like, they're all kind of related in some way, which I thought was kind of a cool idea. You know, the stories themselves aren't the greatest. The stories are kind of weak and stuff. I did really like the first story about the girl with the family with the remote control changer and stuff. And I also kind of like the one where the dude in the apartment that steals the money and shit like that. I did like how everything kind of came together, though. It was not bad. Man, I'd heard some really horrendous things about this, like worst fucking film ever made and stuff, and I'm like, no, it's not really the worst movie in the world. There was some decent performances in this, actually, some pretty recognizable faces and stuff, which was kind of cool. Overall, it's not an amazing film. It's not even great. It's just above average, but it's not as bad as I anticipated it to be, so yeah, just another Anthology film I wanted to add to the collection because, you know, I collect them. And I couldn't pass it up. I think it was only like $2, so. Next up is a Dimension Extreme film that I did not own, and that is Dead in 3 Days. This is a... where's this film from? This is German. I think it's an Austrian film. I think it's from Austria. Spoken in German. Basically, it's pretty much what I expected. Kind of your run-of-the-mill type slasher film. It doesn't really bring a lot of new elements to the slasher game. It was kind of disappointing at times. There were some decent moments, but I gotta say the end was kind of very much a letdown. But, you know, overall, it wasn't that bad, but it does play on a lot of slasher cliches and stuff, which is kind of a downer, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Next up is a film that I've never actually owned, and actually never seen before. I'd heard about this movie for years and years, and just never checked it out, never gave it a shot, and that is Hard Candy, with Ellen Page and Patrick Wilson. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this was really good. I like the setup to the film, where you think basically, you know, he's going to be predating on her, and then it kind of switches, you know, does a full fucking 180, and basically it's Patrick being, you know, kind of tortured and stuff by Ellen Page's character for various reasons. I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was an interesting premise, and I thought the end was pretty cool too. Maybe a little unbelievable, but enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. I highly recommend this, man. And if you don't consider this a horror film, I don't know. I mean, I completely do. I think this is a horror film, but fucking nasty, man. I mean, honestly, every guy in the world that's seen this film, it just would be devastated by certain things in this movie. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Next up is another movie I've been after for a long time, and I found this for so cheap. And released by Elite, and it's called Monster'd. That is right. This movie is about a giant piece of shit. Literally a piece of shit. Killing people. The storyline is there's a serial killer that escapes from a like a high extreme fucking prison or whatever. Anyways, he ends up in the sewer or whatnot, and there's this like fucking chemical spill down there that I think it's these fucking scientists or whatever, they end up pouring like all this shit down this sewer. Anyways, it ends up mixing with this serial killer, and it fucking creates this like huge piece of shit serial killer. It's ridiculous. This storyline is so fucking stupid, but my wife actually watched this with me, and she hated it. She hated this movie. She's pissing herself laughing, but like not in a good way. I thought it was really funny and enjoyable. I thought the big giant turd looked hilarious. It had some pretty funny kills, funny moments. Really low budget, but I thought it was enjoyable. I think if you like your goofy ass, stupid films, this is one for a good laugh. I mean, you can't take it serious, man. Seriously, like Monster'd, it's a giant turd. What can I say, man? I really enjoyed it. I was really happy to actually get like the insert and everything with this for, you know, a couple bucks. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, Monster'd, fucking awesome. All right, so I guess I'll get into some of the Godzilla DVDs that I've got. Stay tuned for part 2 because I've got some Blu-rays. First up is Godzilla vs. Megalon. Oh my god. There was a part in this movie that me and my buddy Dylan watched, or that we watched this together, and we laughed so hard in it that we actually had to pause the movie and rewind it. It was just fucking had us laughing so hard. But very cheesy and enjoyable. I'd never... See, I bought a lot of Godzilla films, and I'd seen a lot of Godzilla films in the past, but I couldn't remember which ones I've seen because of the names. They all kind of blend together. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Because I kind of grew up on these. I watched a lot of them on TV and just VHS and shit like that, and I couldn't remember. And it's so funny watching some of these films because me and my buddy watched 4 Godzilla films in one night, just a little mini marathon, and we were seeing rehashed footage in the films, just making me laugh. But this was enjoyable, very, very cheesy, but fun. The transfer on this Tokyo Shock DVD is pretty bad, though. It's like, it's kind of jumpy at times and stuff. Really poorly done, but, you know, the quality of the picture is not so bad. It's just, when the scenes are cutting, it just has this really weird fucking edit. I don't know. But Godzilla vs. Megalon, that shit was funny as hell. Next up here is Godzilla against Mecha Godzilla. Grab this one. I'm actually waiting for a few more Godzilla films actually in the mail. They just haven't arrived yet, which pisses me off. I haven't watched this one yet, and I don't know if I've ever actually seen this one. I'm trying to remember, but I'm not even going to waste my time trying to remember. I'm just going to watch these, and, you know, if I've seen them, I've seen them. If I haven't, I haven't. So, Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla. I was happy to grab this. Very cool. I actually grabbed this one used, and it even had the insert too, which is, I love that when you get the inserts. And that again was, I think I paid $4 for that one. Next up here is Terror of Mecha Godzilla. Holy shit, man. This movie right here from 1975. I really enjoyed this, man. The 15th entry, yeah. This was fucking great, man. Really fun stuff. I enjoyed it. Again, these Godzilla films are so cheesy. I just, you know, I never got a chance to see the new Godzilla film. But I heard that they kind of, like the fight scenes, the way they did it was kind of like a throwback a little bit to like these older films, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I've heard a lot of mixed opinions. But the thing was, I didn't get a chance to see the new Godzilla film because they were only showing it here in 3D, and the only 2D showings were like 12 o'clock afternoon ones. I can't do those shows. But yeah, this was enjoyable. Mechagodzilla, Terror of Mechagodzilla. It's fun. Oh shit, man, this movie is Mothra vs. Godzilla. To be honest, I'm not a big Mothra fan. I'm not a big fan of the creature. I never really liked Mothra that much. Also released as Godzilla vs. the Thing. This one's from 1964. It's okay. I'm not a big fan of Mothra. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I just hate moths in general. I don't know. Speaking of moths, they're fucking everywhere around here right now. It pisses me off. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not my favorite Godzilla film just because Mothra pisses me off. Actually, I haven't even opened this one. I've seen this movie before. I know for a fact I've seen this before. All Monsters Attack. Also released as Godzilla's Revenge. This is a fun film. This is where they basically have a Royal Rumble in this one. Yeah, this is fun. I gotta revisit these though, man. I can't get into details. I can't quite remember, but I've seen this movie. 1969. Very cool stuff. Next up is Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. I've seen this one too. Long time ago. I always liked Ghidorah, or however you say his name, three-headed monster. I think he's one of the cooler characters in the the Godzilla franchise. Always been a big fan of that. The three heads and that's fucking gnarly. So I gotta revisit this one soon, but yeah. Next up is Invasion of Astro Monster. Also released as Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. Fuck, these movies have so many alternate titles and shit. It's like Italian cinema. Yeah, 1965. Very cool stuff. I honestly don't remember if I've seen this one or not. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Watch this one, Godzilla Raids Again. This is, the sequel, 1955. This is great, man. I really enjoy this movie, man. This is fucking fun shit. If you guys are looking to grab these releases, grab them now, because I don't know if they're going to stay in print long or whatever. I'm assuming that these are probably just going to disappear, but these Toho Master Collection, they're really fucking cheap to grab. Like, you can grab these DVDs for $7-8 a piece, I believe. But yeah, good shit, man. Love that film. And not a Godzilla film, but I grabbed this because this was a really interesting set for $8, and that's Rodan and War of the Gargantuans. And to my surprise, I didn't even notice when I grabbed this, but this is actually, it tells you right on the front there, 2-disc collection. But, I'm fucking blind as a bat and can't read that shit. I get home and I'm like, hey, it's 2 discs. And then I look on the front and I'm like, oh yeah, you're a moron. But that's cool though. I like that it's on separate discs for $8. Really cool stuff. I've yet to check these out. I believe I've actually seen these movies before though. I was kind of looking at the screenshots and it just seems so familiar to me. But yeah, very cool stuff right there. I'm loving these Toho releases, man. They're fucking awesome. Break time. Alright, so next up here is an independent film called Reality Bleed Through. 2-disc limited edition. This one I had some problems getting. I bought this off this guy, probably the director, and he actually didn't even notice my order, so it took like a couple months to get here. He threw in like a bonus disc in here. It's all signed up. It's actually numbered, limited to 100. This is number 54. I've yet to actually check this out. I just kind of forgot that I picked this up because it took so long to get here, but I'm going to give this one probably a review, actually. I think it's review worthy, so yeah, I'm going to check that out right there. Cool stuff. Next up is, just some crap pickups here. Boa vs. Python. I couldn't pass it up. This was like 90 cents or something for it. It's like ridiculous, but Body Bags, a couple weeks back, we did a snake theme, and I was going through my collections, and I'd reviewed a few snake films in the past, and I'm kind of going through going, I don't really have that many snake films besides all the Anacondas and Venom, and there's a bunch that I do have, but I've reviewed some of those films, and I was like, I gotta get my hands on these Boa films. So Boa vs. python. Couldn't pass it up for like 90. I think, no, this was like $1. So, that's right. I grabbed this because I just didn't own it, and I was surprised to fucking see this come in a snapper case, and that's Gothica. I just wanted to check it out again. I remember not enjoying this movie when I first seen it, but it's been so long. I watched it when it first came out. I don't know when it came out. Maybe like the early 2000s. Yeah, 2004. Snapper case, really? I know this has a release without one, but it was dirt cheap, like another $1, so can't pass it up. Next up is, finally, grab these films. I never owned these. I actually had somebody ask me about these one time, like, hey, you don't have these in your collection. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's weird. And that's Ju-On, the original Grudge film. This is really good. This is a good movie. Way better than the American remake. I actually don't even own any of the American remakes. I'm not a big fan of them. I actually don't like them, so... but this is really fucking good. And again, for dirt cheap, I couldn't pass it up. And of course, I grabbed Ju-On 2. I need to grab that, the Ju-On White Ghost, Black Ghost double film, or whatever that is. I've never actually seen those films, so... I believe it's 2 films. Ju-On 2. I really enjoy this one, too. It's really good stuff. I know this movie just came out on Blu-ray recently, but I couldn't pass this up for, like, a deucer. So, Dan Curtis's Dracula. I mean, the Blu-ray's going for 18, 20 bucks or whatever. $2 for the DVD. Fuck it, I'm grabbing it. I've never seen it before, so... And I've heard mixed things about this movie, too, so I'm like, do I really need the fucking Blu-ray? No. I'll take this one for $2, so... it looks interesting. I love Jack Palance, so this should be an interesting film. Next up is a movie that surprisingly I've never seen, and I'm really going to check this out soon. Heard nothing but good things about this, and that is Session 9. It's one movie that just never really kind of caught me, never intrigued me enough to, you know, just go out of my way and grab it, but I was grabbing some films and I seen it there, and I was like, you know what, I think this was like $1 maybe. Really, really looking forward to this. I've heard nothing but good things, so. Session 9, add to the collection. I grabbed this one just because I actually kind of like the cover. It's cheesy and bad, but I read the premise, looked kind of cool. Where evil is born, it's called The Cradle. I don't know, man. These movies are so hit and miss. I know this is probably going to be low budget bullshit, but who knows? I'm going to give this one a shot. You know me, I love to blind buy things, so sometimes they don't work out so well, sometimes they do. Next up is Dark Harvest 3. I did order part 2, and it just hasn't come yet. I heard part 2 and 3 are really, really bad, but I wanted these because I love Scarecrow films, and I pretty much have, like, all Scarecrow films. So I had to add this to the collection, and yeah, Dark Harvest 3. Next up is The Witches. Now, this is a really oddball film. Not really a kid's movie. It's kind of looks like one. I know I've seen a lot of people pick this up recently. I got the older Snapper Case edition. I was kind of, whatever, but for $1 or $2, whatever, I'll grab it. This is a very, very trippy film. I really enjoy this film. I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in years, but... next up is another Scarecrow film called Hollow Ground. Stay tuned for, you know, some more Scarecrow films. You guys might know what that means. Yeah, I've never seen this one. Still sealed. Got this for, I think, $5, something like that. So it's probably not worth it, but you know what it is. You know how it goes. Next up is Severin's release of The Baby. I know this came out on Blu-ray too, and I was like, fuck. The Blu-ray was $17, $18. I got this for $9.99, brand new. So I was like, fuck, whatever, I don't care. I'm not really the biggest fan of Severin's Blu-rays anyways. I don't think they do the greatest transfers. Everything I've seen by them is... They put out some good titles, but... you know, whatever. I'm fine with the DVD. And I've yet to watch this, but I need to watch this because I'm going to be doing this on the Double Shot of Horror podcast on Sunday. So yeah, next up here is a double feature by Jess Franco, Helter Skelter and Dr. Wong, Cravings of the Departed. Released by Sub Rosa Studios. 2 films on 1 disc. Kind of cool stuff, I guess. Jess Franco, bullshit, you know. Every time I see Franco films, I always have to grab them. Next up here is Ice Spiders. Again, I was just grabbing some cheap films that I like spider films too. They creep me out because I hate spiders. So this one looked really, really bad. Had to grab it. Dirt cheap. And last up for the DVDs is a still sealed copy of Boa. This is the first one in that little mini franchise. I know there's a Boa 2 and then Boa vs. Python. This one's still sealed. I grabbed for. This is the one I grabbed for 90 cents. Still sealed. I had to grab this because it has Dean Cain in it. Seriously, Dean fucking Cain. Superman. Yeah. Anyways. Probably straight up ass cheeks, but who cares? Whatever, 90 cents, you can't pass it up. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the DVDs. I hope you guys come back for part 2 for the Blu-rays. I actually have quite a few. I think there's 22 Blu-rays I picked up in the last month, so... and I didn't actually receive some of the other ones that I was waiting for, so fucking post. Anyways, guys, hope to see you in part 2. Peace out.